When I say the golden age of gaming, people usually refer to the 70s and 80s, back when arcades reigned supreme and everybody and their mother was playing games like Pac-Man, Donkey Kong, whatever the hell this game was. And while iconic as that time was for many people, I want to talk about something I think had much more of an impact. Something that was there all throughout my childhood, accessible by anyone, anywhere. Something that will die by the end of the year. I'm sure you've all seen that message that pops up because Google loves shoving that thing in your face. But after December 31st, 2020, Adobe Flash will cease to exist. I don't really have a lot of time now, do I? It's inevitable, just like something else that died this year. Adobe Flash, once known as Macromedia Flash, was primarily an animation tool that could be used to make things from animations to apps to games. And boy, were there a lot of games. Miniclip, armor games, Newgrounds, addicting games. Fun fact, I didn't even know how to pronounce the word addicting, so I kept calling it Addicting games. I was 8 years old. Of course, there were a lot more sites that housed Flash games, with the quality of these games ranging from my university project to full-blown innovative ideas. Games I remember playing that give me fond memories were things like Interactive Buddy, where you abuse this round boy. I was 8 years old. The Riddle School series, a point-and-click puzzle game that somehow had an interwoven plot. Fancy Pants Adventure, a stylish platformer that I played more than Super Mario Bros. That's a given because I never owned Super Mario Bros, let alone an NES. It wasn't just games that made Flash special. I used to watch the same Flash animations over and over again because I thought they were wicked cool. Tetris was a twist to the original game, and I thought it was such an interesting concept that I made a stupid ass comic inspired by it. Animator vs Animation was a brilliant meta animation to watch back when I didn't even know what the heck meta even meant. Metal Gear Awesome, a hilarious parody from some dude, I can't remember his name, it was something like Eggnog Grappa. As popular as Flash was, however, you couldn't deny that it was becoming an obsolete piece of software, especially when people had started to use the new improved HTML5 to design their content. If you don't know what HTML stands for, then don't worry because neither do I. While HTML has existed since 1993, HTML5 came in about 2014, alongside the decline of Flash content. Being supported by browsers natively while Flash required a plugin, as well as the fact that it was a more streamlined tool and free for users, HTML5 just seemed like the most superior choice. The darn thing worked on mobile devices, which, while we're on topic, is another thing that brought about Flash's death. I highly recommend checking out Nakey Jakey's video on Flash, as I'm about to make the same points he's made, and he's just a way funnier dude than me. It's definitely no surprise why the mobile gaming market is the biggest in the industry. Everyone has phones, so its audience is extremely wide. Developing mobile games is usually more cost effective, and it makes bank! What Flash used to have with its large and widely accessible library is superseded by what mobile games now have to offer, and people just gravitate towards the most convenient thing. Of course it'd be obvious that Flash's death would be inevitable, but despite its impending doom, I still believe that Flash has made the biggest impact in the industry. Flash games and animation weren't known for its graphic, but purely for its fun-ass gameplay, just like the arcades during the golden age of gaming. What that was like for kids back then is what Flash is like to me, but that's not all. Nowadays, making games is usually centered around one thing, making profit. Aside from a few exceptions, this is mainly true for big titles backed by big companies, and every single mobile game in existence. But there's a group of developers that always put their passion for games first, and I'm sure you have already pieced together what I'm referring to. Indie developers. Can you imagine what the industry would look like if Flash never existed? For most devs, this was probably the most accessible tool you could use, and my god did people use the hell out of it. Not because it would get them some sweet cash, but because they were passionate about what they were making. The same type of passion and innovation you can see from games like Alien Hominid or Meat Boy or N is the same as what you would get from developers in the 80s, because while the games industry was changing and so was its ideals, the philosophies of design that game designers had back then still held true for the indie developers who were making these Flash games. Like how the arcade games of the 70s and 80s were referred to as the golden age of gaming, the Flash era is the golden age of indie gaming. Flash will forever hold a special place in my heart, and while its death is imminent, it's nice to also see the revival of some of these games. Some popular Flash games have become fully fledged games so you can get on mobile or Steam, like Super Meat Boy, My Friend Pedro, the Henry Stickmin collection, which, if not for its success, Among Us would most likely never have taken off. Newgrounds has a dedicated Flash player, so even after browsers kill off the plugin, you can still play your favorite games there. And lastly, there's many people working to preserve the games that will one day become unplayable. So find your favorite Flash games and download them. Preserve your childhood so that one day you can say to your grandkids, hey, I played Happy Wheels. God bless Flash, and God bless you for watching. Merry Christmas, bye!